In this video I recorded around 6 different encounters that will hopefully show you how important it is to master these defensive mechanics, especially on higher difficulties where it's easier to get one-shotted. In my opinion, Elex is a really good mix of skill-based RPGs and gear-based RPGs. Even on the first level, you could theoretically kill a really high-level monster if you have the patience, a couple of hours and some evading and dodging skills. This is not how the game is meant to be played though, but since this is an RPG, the option is still there. Far too many players find combat in Elex really hard and unenjoyable at the beginning, since the game really does a poor job of explaining some combat mechanics to the player. I think this is actually intentional, because this game just screams Gothic 2 in many ways, and it has that old school feel to me, but it's understandable that a lot of modern gamers won't like this approach. Anyway, back to the topic. I can assure you that every single one of these attacks that you will see in the video is avoidable. Some are easier than others, but everything can be evaded or dodged if you time it correctly. Evade is extremely useful if you're in a ranged fight, and a good thing to know, you can evade bullets, grenade weapons, flamethrowers and those lasers from the mech. I can without a doubt say that evading ranged weapons is much easier than evading melee attacks for a couple of reasons. The first reason would be you can evade ranged weapons fairly late, as you could see in the mech fight, and the same goes for the laser rifles that Albs use. You can clearly see the bullets and they are not that fast. The second reason is because melee NPCs usually strike more than once, and you'll be forced to evade a couple of times, so it's wiser to just try and dodge behind their backs, but I personally only dodge when I don't have the other option. When I play as a melee, my main focus is parrying and dodging, and just sometimes evading. Evading or dodging beasts can be quite challenging, but it's totally doable. Just pay attention to their movements and positioning. After some practice you'll know how and when they attack, so you can press the dodge or evade key right after that. Some of the monsters have a distinct roar sound effect when they attack, so that can help you as well, but you can time it badly if you're only relying on that, so keep your eyes and ears open. It requires practice, so don't panic and don't mash your dodge key all the time, because if the enemy is in a close range to you, you'll get hit even if you try to roll away without timing it properly. I really like this because it eliminates the option to just roll like a maniac all the time like in some other RPGs, but on the other hand, this creates some wonky hitboxes like I mentioned in my fighting multiple enemies melee guide. The difficulty you're playing does not just increase HP and damage of the enemies, but it also affects the special ability bar. For example, if you're playing on normal difficulty, you'll feel your bar much easier than if you're playing on some harder difficulty, and not only that, but you'll have to chain more hits and your timing have to be slightly better in order to get that special attack, and all of that consumes a lot of precious stamina. Like I said at the beginning, the game is also gear based, so you don't need some extreme skill to play the game. It's a nice mix of skill and gear, but some people may not agree with me. For example, here you can see that I'm not having that much trouble fighting this Cyclops, but it's taking a long time since my bow and my sword are not that great. But try and imagine the same situation with a stronger weapon. I would still need to evade and dodge, but I would kill him a lot quicker, so you don't need to be a genius to figure that out really, but I'm trying to show you why I think it's a good mix of skill and gear. You can play however you want though, this is just a small portion of gameplay and my personal take on it. I hope you enjoyed the video and maybe learned something. If that's the case, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more Elex content, and I'll see you in the next one.